girl, the Thick Rider Chick, on this beautiful Resurrection Sunday weekend. Forgive me for not having it done at a sooner time, but I did get it to you within a week. So thank you for rocking with me. So today I want to discuss the Netflix reality television show entitled Love is Blind. At first, I saw everybody talking about it on Facebook, and I was like, sounds whack. Then I clicked on it. Looks even whacker. But it actually was a very interesting experiment. Pretty much, I think it was like 10 different couples, I don't know, or 10 of each gender, lived in separate houses. And every day they would come into these pods and speak with each other. They did not get to see the opposite sex at all. It was strictly conversation, and they would just switch from pod to pod and build a bond, with the other genders, and eventually kind of whittled down. I was a little confused at first. I was like, is everybody gonna end up with somebody, and yes, no, everyone did not end up with someone. Everyone did not go to the next stage. The idea was, if within a certain amount of days someone proposed to you and you accepted, you then went on to the next stage and got to see whose proposal you accepted. Very interesting concept, and I called bull at first. I was like, oh, hi, bull. But if you're kind of like me and you're not a looks girl, this is very doable. I have met men over the internet and not actually seen them in person till months out, and build connections with them before. But I at least had the luxury of clicking on some photos and kind of seeing what they look like. But so this is a project I would totally do if it ever came to Louisiana, or if I ever moved to Atlanta. I would definitely do it because it's so real. It's like at first I was like BS, but after a while you could feel their butterflies. Like you could feel, I guess because I'm an empath and I just feel people's feelings anyway, but I could definitely feel what appeared to be budding love, from these conversations. And it was very interesting. I was like, it was hard to deny. I don't know if whipping the L word out so quick was genuine, but their connections were genuine. So, hold on, I'm just pulling up all the characters' names up really quick. But everybody had their fan faves, I'm sure. For me, definitely love Lauren and Cameron. That was the biracial couple. Now, here's the thing. If they really wanted to make it truly genuine, and maybe they probably already filmed season 2, but if somebody could get this to Nick Lachey, Jessica Simpson ex-husband, maybe use some kind of voice disguisant, because it is, and let me just tell you from someone who does customer service, it is usually, I say about 85% of the time, it is very easy to depict race from tone and from vocals. I can tell usually when I'm speaking with a black patient as opposed to a white one. Maybe every blue moon has somebody really just got me, but I say for the most part, a good 85% of the time, I can just hear a man speak and be like, okay, he's probably white. So, and I'm not MacGyver or anything, so I'm sure if I could do it, then the average person can do it. So to make it truly anonymous, they need to have some kind of voice disguising technology that these people use. So here's the thing. Okay, here's the cast. I've got them pulled up. Everybody's got their fan favorites. Love is Blind overview. Why is it just showing them two? Nah, boo. What's the... Okay, I might not get everybody's name right then because I can't seem to pull up the cast. But for the record, TV series. It was 11 episodes, and I watched them all, baby. It was good. Season summary, contestants. Booyah, here we go. Okay. Cameron, for me, I just loved his personality. He's so mellow. He's so laid back. And I genuinely think that's just him. So we had him. We had Lauren. Matt was another. They called him Barnett. Matthew Barnett. Giannina. Who else? Kenny was cool. Carlton, we'll come back to him. Oh, we had Lauren. She ain't make it to the next round. So, who made it to the second round? What's my little man name? Mark. Was it Mark? He was my fave. Mark was my fave. But the thing with Mark is Mark Cuevas. Yes, he's a fitness trainer, 24 years old. All right. When I tell you Mark has been here before, like he has such an old soul to be that young. Let me tell you, as a almost 32-year-old woman, I'm 31. But it's men my age ain't conducting themselves the way Mark did. But he don't know his own work. To a certain degree he does. So he's like almost there. But once he saw that Jessica was not checking for him, he should have bounced, but we've all been guilty of it. He had already truly fallen in love, and he didn't have a problem with how she looked. In essence, all right, so here's the thing. Jessica, which is who he ended up picking, was actually going back and forth between him and this little frat boy named Barnett. Barnett, from what I saw, had no in-depth conversation. He wasn't talking about anything on no genuine level, anything really. And he was juggling 3 different women. He did not choose Jessica. So when Jessica saw that wasn't going to pop off, she finally went back to Mark and accepted his proposal. Although Mark had been team Jessica, and only Jessica from day one. Now, when she already had hesitancy because he's Hispanic, let's just keep it a buck. She didn't want to just come out and say that, but yeah, because he's Mexican and he's 24. I can definitely understand her being iffy with the 24. I mean, that'd be great for in the sheets. But men tend to mature a little bit slower than women. So you're talking about a 10-year age gap. That's double the immaturity, or so you would think. But he had proven time and time again that he actually was pretty mature emotionally for his age. But was his life financially, etc., where hers was at? No. And who's expecting that? Why would you expect someone who is 10 years behind you to be where you are? That's immaturity on your part. But it's not like he ever hid anything from her. He didn't lie about his age or anything like that. He didn't lie about what he did for a living. He was very upfront. He was very honest. And she's still at that stage where she cared about what people think. What are they going to say? Who are these? Everywhere she went and thought people were going to just nail them to the cross, nobody cared. Like, this is America, Jack. This is 2020. Like, there's so many cougars. Cougars is a cool thing. It's it's hip. Like, nobody cared. All the stuff she thought people would care about, nobody cared about. In essence, the only person who was hooked on that stuff was her tail. Jessica was the one that had a problem with the fact that he was Hispanic. Jessica had a problem with his financial, where he was financially, and Jessica had an issue with him being 24 years old. The friends and family didn't care. Mama Cuevas welcomed him with open arms, all that jazz, all her friends, all his friends. They were a little skeptical, but for the most part, they truly supported them. And I didn't care for Jessica at all. I'm finna put this out there right quick. I don't know if I'm just blessed to come from a babyface line of women or what, but to me, them folks be looking old. Like, Jessica could easily pass for 40. Barnett was 27. He be looking old. Even Mark. To me, Mark didn't look like no damn 24-year-old. I was like, 24? Child, where? He could easily pass for Jessica age. I mean, I don't know if it's something in the in whatever the 20-year-olds are drinking nowadays. Kenny definitely looked old. I was like, 27? But Carlton, he was straight. I'm gonna come back to him. I forgot about him. But yeah, who else? Kenny, he was 36. Ebony Alexis. Where's the Diamond girl? I'm not sure how old Diamond is, but Lauren was how old is Lauren? Gina Nina, whoever she got with, I think it was Damien. He look old too. Them hairlines be receding at a young age, but Cameron looked a little bit old, for his age as well. So he ended up being really sweet. That worked out really well with Cameron and Lauren. they were the ones that were a different race. But she was actually a little bit older than him. He's 28, she's 32. So, Amber. Yes, Amber is 27. That's the one that married Barnett. And here's the thing: if Jessica was really so hung up on ages, okay, she's 34. Barnett was 27. It's still an age difference, but who knows? But anyway, so another couple I want to touch on really quick that didn't make it to episode 3 because after the proposal came was Diamond, who was 28, and Carlton, who was 34. Here's the thing. Carlton is a bisexual male, and they exist, and that's real. But instead of being upfront with her in the beginning and letting her make a decision, he hid that until after they were, engaged. Which in real life, let's say there was no experiment. In real life, that would not be okay. And instead of nailing her to the cross and being like, oh, you homophobe, how about we call him out for not being honest with his truth? This is 2020. There are so many bisexual men, it's not even funny. You hiding stuff, however, is not okay. You not being upfront, that's not okay either. Marriage is a big deal. You talking about spending your life with somebody and you don't even feel comfortable enough to tell them, hey, I've slept with a man before. And truth be told, I mean, if you're not sleeping with men now, why does it matter? She probably hooked up with a girl before. Like I said, this is 2020. People is wilding out here. But he made it a big thing. And then it's like when she tried to talk to him, I watched it twice. I watched their scene twice to make sure I wasn't tripping. But I think homegirl handled that extremely maturely. She coddled him and comforted him when he was crying and making a scene and trying to tell her. And then the next day when they came to talk about it, okay, you got to share your feelings. You got to have your emotional moment. Well, now it's my turn to speak. And she was calm. She was collected. She didn't say anything about, I don't want to be with you. She didn't say about anything about this marriage is over and the marriage is off. All she said was pretty much just how she felt. You could have come to me and you could have talked to me. And he was immediately in defense mode and just went off on her. And in essence, ended up calling her a bitch. Out of nowhere. I watched it twice to be sure. She was calm, she was collected, she wasn't raising her voice until he got extremely disrespectful. Called it a B word. He indirectly, he said, I don't fool with B words like you. And she was like, oh no, I'm a B word. And he said, yes, you are a B word. Okay, so he reiterated himself and because she was trying to be clear, you know how black women, you know how we do? Oh, so now, and he came back with the yes ma'am. And he threw the ring in the pool and all that jazz, and by now she had enough. She's, F you, mother effer. She starts to walk off, and so he wants to diss on her wig and talking about it's been sliding back, and she handled that way better than some. I ain't saying it's right, She had her immature moment where she splashed some water on him, but I mean, if this is as real as they say it was, which I think it was, I don't think it's no different than a couple who's invested time being heated, and he did eventually apologize to her on the reunion, or he called a little bit before the reunion. But this stuff is pre-recorded a year and a half ago. He should have came apologize before she left that night. And so, but anyway, so they didn't last long. I'm trying to start making my podcast a little bit shorter, but no need to rush to greatness. So anyway, in short, my fan favorites, of course, were Mark and Cameron. I feel as far as men go, they were very stand-up. They were very consistent with who they were. Unlike, what was his name we just talked about? What's the man's name? Unlike Carlton, who, went from being this sweet Carolina mama's boy, and all of a sudden you a B and F you, and that's too much. Cameron, I can't, he was just very, even in situations that were kind of iffy or when he felt unsure. And women need that. Women need stability. And stability and consistency don't always just mean financial. I need to know that you're going to... Mood swings, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to be politically incorrect. I have enough mood swings for us both. We both cannot be doing the mood swing thing. Somebody has to be consistent and who they are from day to day, and women need that, like a routine. Women need that, not a routine, but like, I know when I call him, this is who I'm going to speak with, not one of his, it's not like Split where it's like come to the light, What was it? Come to the light, Patricia. I don't want to deal with Patricia today and Ewig tomorrow or Jack tomorrow. This is Cameron. This is how Cameron is. This is him. And Mark was the same way. Even when the girls would be, having their moments, they were just them. And I think that is super sexy. Ain't nobody trying to see, well, which card am I going to get today? And I think had Diamond and Carlton's thugged it out, she would have not known from day to day what she was going to get because of all the internal conflicts he had within himself. Normally that kind of stuff is just a reflection of one person's own insecurity. And Jessica was insecure. That's why from day to she was the wild card in their relationship, even though she was air quote 10 years older and supposed to be more mature. You meeting up with Barnett behind his back, behind Mark's back, behind Barnett's fiance's back, all type of inappropriate stuff to keep reiterating the boy that has not chosen you, let it go. I understand you want to get your feelings out, baby, write a letter. Like, you being disrespectful at this point. And if anything, you should have came to his fiance first, came to Amber first, and been like, Amber, I just want to have one conversation with Barnett. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just certain feelings that I want to get off my chest. Is that okay with you? And if you aren't brave enough to do that, then don't be bold enough to be meeting up with him. And then she would bring her tail over there in front of Mark and talk like Mark was. Every episode I kept thinking, child, you can do so much better. You can do so much better. There's women out here who would love somebody like Mark. Big eyes and all. He's not ugly, so I don't understand what her whole thing was. The physical is just not there. As soon as her and the other girl who was with Kenny was talking about, they were bragging at first. Talking about, we haven't knocked boots yet, pretty much. We haven't had sex yet. We're trying to wait. Nah, you're not feeling him. You're not feeling him. You have proved the project, is at least for you, is not what it is. You just accepted this man's marriage proposal, and now today, you don't want him to touch you. Because I ain't saying you gotta knock boots. She didn't like him. She didn't like how Mark looked. At the end of the day, that's what it was. If Barnett would have had the exact same things as Mark and look exactly how he looked, she would have married him without question. She likes white guys. She likes a particular type of looking white guy, and Mark wasn't it. He was short. He was younger. He's Hispanic. I thought he was handsome. He's a fitness trainer, so he's in shape. That was not the look she was going for, point blank. Because she was like, I don't think our relationship will transfer to the real world. Nobody in the real world gave a flip about their differences except her. She missed her own blessing. And I'm not saying that you have to settle for something you don't want. If you got to wake up to somebody every day and you got to have their children, by all means, it's probably best that you're attracted to them. Yes, looks do fade. However, before they do, they are there. And you got to want to look at this mofo every day. So I get it. But keep it a buck. Don't be grasping for birds when the truth of it is, I just don't like the way you look. This ain't going to work. I mean, it's harsh, but isn't that the no? If you said yes to my proposal and then no when we get to the marriage, the only thing that's changed between then and now is you didn't see me in person. Okay, obviously it's the looks. But anywho, so Cameron has experience. Let's go back to Cameron. Somebody worth talking about. Cameron has experience in the swirl. I could tell he got a little swag in him. Yeah, he looked like he, But yeah, he was in a long-term relationship with a sister before Lauren for like 5 years. This was her first experience with that, but he was very patient with her. He didn't be like, you need to get it. He wasn't on none of that. Cameron was a cool, calm, collected, laid-back fellow, and they are still married to this day. And I can see why. And again, he's 28 and she's 32. So he was a little bit younger than her. And he's still, I could just tell he would make a fine husband. Like, it didn't seem like this was a joke to him. First of all, Cameron got a mad, fat, nice house in Atlanta. That mug is 2 stories. He owns that bit. Like, Cameron got his head on straight. So if he's saying stuff, he's at a place in his life where I can make a home for a woman. And he meant it, so I definitely loved him. Amber was a little bit, trying to get on her feet. She's got a personality that to me matched Barnett. I knew they were going to hit it off physically. And yes, she do look way better than Jessica. So even if he would have gotten a chance to choose again, I don't think he was gonna choose her. It's like she would not let it go. It was like every time you looked up, especially at that little birthday party when she got drunk, I still just can't believe you're with Amber. Believe it. He straight up and down proposed to this woman. They're still married today. Like he, it clicked for him personality wise. And then when he saw her in person, it was on like Donkey Kong. Like, I mean, there were things that he wasn't crazy about. But I think he was ready. And yeah, he seemed like a little bit of a playboy, but once he made his mind up, his mind was made up. And it's like, it seemed to me like Jessica was trying to convince him to change his mind instead of just appreciating the really nice guy she had in front of her. You don't have to force it, ladies. You don't have to settle. If she felt like Mark was settling, you have every right to do exactly what she did. Society kind of pushes that on women, that we have to deal with the nice guy or deal with this guy or that guy just because they like us. Or you don't have to deal with anybody. You don't have to. There's a new day and age. You can definitely be single and let that man or that woman go on to somebody who will appreciate them, flaws and all, looks and all, if it is not for you. You can't force it. If it's not for you, it's just not for you. Do I think she a damn fool? Yes. But, that's neither here nor there. I felt bad. Yes, every couple that went through the process did not make it to the marriage. In fact, of all the couples, only 2 actually got married. Gina Nina and her little midget man, he blew her off. But here's the thing. Okay, we didn't talk about them much. Gina Nina was very pretty. She comes from a Hispanic background. Very feisty, fiery Latina, whatever. Very pretty, but I think her personality wasn't consistent. How I just said a few minutes ago that women need that, I reckon men need that too. Every man don't find it sexy to talk to some new personality every day. I don't like flip-flop either. To me, sexy is I've committed and this is my decision. You are it for me, period. Now, will arguments come? Yes. But if every other day we are breaking up or you wanting to quit, and that was Gina Nina. Every other day she frightened, want to break up, and he wasn't feeling it. And I don't blame him. Now when it got closer to the wedding, now you're all in. But a week ago, you was like, I'm done with this. I don't enjoy having sex with you. I'm through at this. I mean, she was saying some hurtful stuff to get under his skin. He's calm, but he's not as calm as Cameron. Because somebody else like Carlton, who would have got with her, would have got up in her face, well, he's pretty calm about it. And he did try, but he was just like, this flip-flop ain't gonna work for me. And the only thing I don't like about the whole wedding thing was if you knew you were not going to say, I do. I know it's a television show and ratings are important. And they've paid for all this stuff, so go ahead and get dressed up. But if you really cared about that person at all, y'all could have squashed this the night before. Let me just tell you now, I'm not going to say yes tomorrow. In fact, or a week ahead, tell your friends and family it's probably not going to go that way. Because in the words of the late, great Maya Angelou, love is many things, but it is never unsure. If the whole week before you wasn't yes wasn't the answer, I understand cold feet. But if you was real life going back and forth, then anything other than a yes is a no. And I feel like they could have pulled them people to the side if they really genuinely cared about them. And before I make a fool of you in front of your friends and family, let me just tell you now, we should end this. Jessica could have did it, and so could have Damien. But I guess it makes for good ratings, like I said, Makes for good TV, making fools of folks, but I don't have it in me. So even if my answer would have been no, I probably would have just pulled them to the side a few days before and be like, yeah, it's probably not going. I'm sorry. And if they want to know why, that would give us time, and they can film that time while we sit and talk about, well, why are you saying no? Well, this is why. To give them as much clarity as you can. Some things are inevitable. Pain is inevitable when a person has invested in you and they're not getting what they hope. So, I mean, at least give them the decency to not make a fool of them. And, like, me personally, I would toe that wedding up. But everybody was so calm and collected and mature about it. Not I, said the Brian Kyle. I'm finna tear this mug up. But yeah, I guess you gotta save face. Like the little Kenny, they were kind of boring, but she didn't want him. She, for whatever reason, I think Kelly was the girl. I'm not sure. I forgot his wife's name. She was so damn boring. I think she overestimated her looks. That's another one that thought she was finer than what she was and was like, I'm not attracted to him physically. She looked like somebody out of Little House from the Prairie. Like, she was just a regular looking white girl. Nothing too, no. They looked like they belonged together. He actually looked a little bit better than her. So this was actually, to me, looked like a step up from what she normally deals with. Both the families were excited. Both the parents were like, yes, and they liked the other person. And she just said no at the end. And he was looking crazy. And he spoke to the family and thanked them all for coming out. I'm talking about real life, mature, grown man stuff. Thank y'all for coming out. And even when the cameras, like afterwards, when they were like trying to ask him, well, how do you feel? What do you think? He's like, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna bash her. I'm not finna talk bad about her. So it was some real stand-up people that got the short end of the stick. But sometimes it's, every rejection isn't a tragedy, Mark, Kenny, people like that, they deserve somebody who will be 100% invested and not unsure. I think everybody who's a decent person deserves that kind of love. And I don't think Jessica turning him away makes her a bad person. He wasn't for her. She wasn't ready. Either she wasn't ready emotionally for what he was ready for, or he just wasn't for her. It's one or the other. We've always been taught that notion that if somebody rejects you or if they turn you down, it's their loss. Maybe not. Maybe it's a blessing for you both. They just weren't for each other. But the experiment did hold true. Like I said, only 2 couples got married, but Gina Nina and Damien did remain together. I mean, she ran off. She pulled a runaway bride and ran off and cried and everything. It was probably what I would have done. Like, let me get up out of here before I tear this wedding up. Give my Nikes. I'm out, and she ran halfway across Atlanta. But they are still together today, dating. And Cameron and Lauren and also Barnett and Amber are actually still married. Jessica, wrinkle-faced Jessica, is still single. Good. I don't like her. Mark is still single too. I think he was almost a little bit hopeful that, hey, maybe some sparks will fly. Son, go on. It's some bad mamma jammers out there who would love themselves a Mark. And Jessica's not it. Kind of like the game 1, 2, 3, not it. Just ain't it. You can do a lot better, son. And I remember watching the show. I was like, damn, he can do better than this. Like, not necessarily me, although I don't discriminate. I'm not big on dating younger. He is a bit young, but he has proven maturity, and I definitely don't care about height. Now, mind you, I am 6 feet tall. So I'm taller than Jessica, so it would definitely be a height difference there. But those things are so minuscule. Like, it's just to me silly to hold something against someone that they cannot change. I can't change that I'm tall, just like you can't change that you're short. You can't make yourself be older. She can't make herself be younger. So why keep bringing up stuff that he could do nothing about? Like, okay, picking up your drawers or, brushing your teeth or whatever. Yeah, we can do something about that, but he can't lower the years he was born. Like, I don't know. Best of luck to her and best of luck to him, because like I said, they're both good people in their own right. As the viewers, we just kind of pick somebody and, we always think there's a protagonist and an antagonist, but maybe there is no bad guy. Like I said, it was an experiment. It absolutely worked because we got 2 couples that have been married for nearly 2 years and seem to still really love each other and have love for each other. I think Cameron and Lauren was like everybody's favorite. But yeah, the bald head dude that was like, I'm a bisexual, he did apologize. He actually fished the ring out the pool and got on his knee. He didn't propose, which I thought he was going to do. But he offered her friendship and was like, please take the ring back. And my thing was, why did this take a year and a half? Like, is pride that big a thing? That you were wrong, straight up. They said people were attacking her online. Child, miss me with that. Every hill is not a hill to die on. She didn't say nothing about him being bisexual that was a problem. Him being a liar. Him being a jerk. Him being disrespectful. Those were issues. Okay, like I'm saying, if he's not sleeping with a man now, what's the problem? And again, that only really would have been an issue if they were here to be exclusive. Like, if you have a boyfriend, okay, you're in a relationship. But it was none of that. I don't feel like how she came at him was wrong. But, everybody's a keyboard warrior nowadays. He had a lot of people come for him. Jessica said she had a lot of people come for her. So, everybody's a keyboard warrior, But maybe they could start something anew. Yeah, they certainly got the history, They went through this experiment together. They know all there is to know about each other. I think at this point there are no secrets. So it actually was very brave. Let me give Carlton a shout out. Because it actually was very brave of him as a black man in America, who I would not have pegged for gay or bisexual or any of that until he said so, to come out on national television on such an experiment like this. It was very, very brave of him. And this is probably something they could have dealt with together. But he went into defense mode as soon as he thought he heard something that wasn't in agreement. And all she was really saying was, you could have told me. Like, in short, you could just tell me. That's not really fair to me. I guess maybe she would have just said, you could have told me, instead of expounding on that. He may have received it better. But I think he was in defense mode anyway, because probably most of his life he has been. Like I said, most of that stuff is just inner issues with the person. But I'm excited to see season 2. I would like if they did like teen moms, like after they had the baby, they had teen moms. It'd be good if they continued on, or gave Lauren and Cameron their own show, or followed Mark, help him find love or something. Definitely want to strike while the iron's hot. Me personally, I'm real big on capitalizing on things. The show is big now. Mark needs a spinoff. Maybe Lauren and Cameron need a spinoff. Maybe Carlton and Diamond need a spinoff. Just get the money. Get the money. But anyway, I'm finna go watch the new season of Insecure, which we have all been waiting patiently for nearly 2 years for. And I'll probably do my next podcast on that. I definitely want to thank you all for tuning in. Also, all Courtney Lyric books are available at Amazon.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Courtney Lyric Presents / how's it go? Yeah, Courtney Lyric Presents / Facebook or .com. You know how that goes. But anyway, you can find me on Facebook, Courtney Lyric Presents. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Have a good, productive week. Keep God first and love on your loved ones. Bye.